the practice problem for while loops and arrays was as follows. We were going to, given an array of values, return the sum of all the numbers, except if the array has the number 42. In that case, just the numbers that come before 42. And I want you to do this using a while loop. And then here's the test data. Use these arrays, and you should get back the value 10. Using this array, you should get back the value 0, etc., 12, and then 42. So those are the test cases. So you should pause the video and go off and write this, and then come back, resume the video, and we'll switch over to Eclipse and take a look. If you have trouble getting started in class, we actually got part of the solution, but it'd be better if you could do this all on your own. If not, you can. I'm going to show you the partial solution and then give you another chance to pause the video. All right, so here's what we started with. We're a function that's going to return an int. We called it count42, and then we had the syntax for passing in an array and passing in an array length. And then we created a boolean for keep looping, a boolean for index, and an int for index that's going to track where we are in the array, and then an int that we're going to use to track our total. And then we said, okay, we can do this with a while loop that says while keep looping and the index is less than the array length, so that we don't overstep the bounds of the array. And then you need to remember inside here to increment your index and update your total. All right, so again, given that's a large part of the solution. Try and finish it and write the test cases and produce results. And then when you have done that, at least attempted it, then come back and resume this video. Okay, so I'll get my test cases already down there. So really all you need to do here is, so let's say if the test array of index, if this equals 42, well, then we just want to return the total that we've got so far, and we initialized it to 0, so if we're initially coming in here, that'll work. So we don't really need an else clause because we've already returned if that's true. So then we want to sum our total. We want to say the total plus equals the test array of the index. So each time through this loop, we're just incrementing our total. And anytime we hit 42, we return, and otherwise we're going to be doing our tests up here. And then the last thing we have to do is we have to remember this will always be looking at index, right? This isn't a for loop, so nothing's automatically incrementing for us here. So we need to increment the index. And it's possible you could have done this on one line. You could have said index and used the post increment operator. It takes up one less line, but it can be a little confusing. So I just think code's clear if you do it on the same line. But you will often see it being indexed inside where it's being used. Okay, so then you basically just need to create your test cases, and so you don't have to watch me type it. I've already done it. So I've created an array, called it test, put the test data in it. Then I call my function pass test. I take size of test, and up here I did the size of an int, so I only had to do that calculation once, and I divide it by int size. And then I know the result expected is 10. So if not, I call a function called failure, which just counts failure, and I use the exit. So really we need to include C standard lib here to make that work. And so let's see. And then the next test array, and just basically did the same thing, sort of copy and paste, but just change the name here of the array each time. And keep going, and then if we get through them all without calling failure, we see out passed. So let's go ahead and build that, and then we'll run that, and we can see we passed. And so that's what I wanted you to do.